Hello boys and girls, I'm back with another video series for Ruth in the Green Book. So we're going to finish up our discussion questions. These are the last three. And then next week we'll look at another story that's similar to this. And I hope that you enjoyed this story. We're going to finish it today. So we have three questions, but you're going to have 3 days to work on them. And remember, when you write your responses, I'm looking for 3 to 4 sentences each, looking for you to expand on your ideas. And like I said, please watch this video for some ideas to help you get started. So 3 questions. The first one is, what does Ruth mean when she says the trip made her feel like she was part of one big family? Let me fix that. Was part of one big family. Number 14, do you think it was brave of Ruth's family to travel in the South during this time period, the 1950s? Defend your answer. And when I say defend your answer, I mean give an explanation. So if you say yes, you think they were brave to do that, explain. If you say no, you need to explain that too. And you need to use story details. So we'll talk more about that. And 15, what lessons do you think can be learned from reading this story? Explain your answer. And this is going to come entirely from you, but when you give your lesson, talk about where you got those ideas from. So in the story, we left off on, let's see, this page. Nope. This page, where Ruth gives the little boy a copy gives the little boy her brown bear for comfort. And you can see Ruth, the experience of traveling south and seeing everything she witnessed, it really changed and impacted her in a big way. And she talks about this in the next page. And remember, Ruth is the one that's telling the story. That's why you see a lot of eyes. I thought, I went to sleep. Ruth is telling the story. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And this is like the second to last page, but this is the last page of actual text. And that night, before I went to sleep, I thought about our trip. It was not what I had expected. Traveling could be scary, that's for sure. It made me sad that some people were mean to Negroes. And when they say Negroes, that was a word for black people back during that time. Today, we wouldn't call black people that. We would say African American or just black. But during the 1950s and 60s and before, black people were called Negroes. But it helped to know that good black people all over the country had pitched in to help each other. And pitched in means really did their part to help out. It felt like I was part of one big family. Plus tomorrow I would finally see Grandma and tell her what a great Green Book guide I had been. Because she did help out. Ruth did help out her family. And you can see this is the last picture as Ruth is finally with Grandma. It's a really nice story. And remember, it's historical fiction, which means that even though this is a made-up story, it's based off of things that actually did happen. So what does Ruth mean when she says the trip made her feel like she was part of one big family? Well, think about it. Throughout the story, she saw and witnessed many things that were signs of racism, discrimination against black people. But at the same time, she saw so many of her people, black people, helping out other black families and travelers. And Ruth was part of that. Think about what Ruth did. She helped her family find a place where they could repair their car. She helped her family find an inn using the Green Book. And she felt like she was part of it too, by witnessing and seeing all that she had saw that many travelers had faced, African-American travelers. So when she says that the trip made her feel like she was part of one big family, it's really saying that she was part of the African-American experience during this time, living and working and traveling in the South with Jim Crow laws. She helped be part of helping those who faced lots of dangers and lots of discriminatory actions. And Ruth, it made her feel proud that so many people helped others during a time when it was very scary to travel and live in the South in the 1950s. So, question 14, do you think it was brave of Ruth's family to travel in the South during this time period? So this is an opinion. But think about whatever opinion you support. If you say the family was brave, which many of you will probably say, what's your evidence? Well, think about what they saw. Think about what they witnessed. I mean, on their travels, they were denied access to a bathroom, and they had to stay calm and go into the forest and use the restroom, which is embarrassing. They were denied access to hotels. What if some of the hotel owners had called the police on them? Or what if the hotel owners had, threatened them or said that, hey, you better get out of here because, we don't serve black people. We don't serve your kind. Things like that were said in real life, and even worse. So to do what they did, and they still kept going. They didn't quit. They didn't turn around. They could have turned around and said, well, this isn't worth it. We'll call grandma on the phone. Or, I don't want to keep going. Because Chicago to Alabama is a long trip. I mean, if you look it up on Google Maps, that's easily 2 or 3 day drive. Because you have to stop and you have to rest. So my opinion is that they were very brave because they had to face many dangers. They had to overcome discrimination. They had to still have the stick with the ability to persevere, to stick with it and not quit, even though it would have been easier for them just to turn around and go back home. If you said that they weren't brave, find your evidence. But that might be harder to do because think about it, they didn't live down there. That might be the only thing you could say is that, well, they were used to it and they had been experienced this before, so they weren't doing anything different. But that's a hard one to defend because they were from Chicago. They weren't from the South. And even if they were from the South, to live like that, to experience or be denied access to basic services just because of the color of your skin and still not quit and continue on shows a lot about their character. And for 15, what lessons do you think can be learned from reading the story? Well, there's so many lessons. You could talk about, bravery, the fact that, when you believe in something strong enough, you don't quit. You could talk about fairness. You could talk about people coming together. In this story, you saw a lot of people coming together to help, Ruth's family and others. There's a lot of lessons here. You can come up with your own lesson also, but defend it. How do you defend and explain your answer? Well, if you say, this story is about family, working together, family, what examples can you provide that show that the family worked together? If you said this is about going against discrimination or going against racism, what examples did you see in the story where people stood up against, these acts? The Green Book is a prime example of it. Or the attendant at the Esso station giving Ruth's family the Green Book was a sign that, hey, we're gonna work together against this. We're not gonna let black families and black travelers being stopped from traveling and visiting family members that they want to see. So think about those 3 questions. Remember, expand on your ideas and watch this video as often as you like. And reread the story. The story is very powerful. And we'll be doing more with the story in the coming weeks. So stay tuned, boys and girls. All right. Good luck.